everyone, and welcome to another episode of Your Brain on Hops. With me, as always, are Alex and Dan. Say hi to the folks, guys.
Hi, folks.
Yo.
Aren't they nice? Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Firestone Walker. Already with the distractions. Firestone Walker, a fantastic brewery out of California. And we're starting with Pale 31, which is a pale ale, as the name suggests.
It doesn't suggest anything about the 31, though.
No, it doesn't.
We had to look in detail for that.
We did. It turns out California is America's 31st state. That's why it's called 31.
That's right.
Yeah, they're really going local there.
The California Pale Ale.
Makes sense.
It is a really nice beer. It's crisp and clean and just, it's kind of refreshing.
I appreciate that it tastes bigger than its 4.9% though, which I kind of like.
Think it tastes bigger?
Yeah, yeah. If I were to just guess offhand, I'd say probably somewhere mid to upper fives, but 4.9%, so still sessionable, which I appreciate in it. It is very lovely to look at too.
Yeah,
it's kind of a
deeper
hue,
good beer.
Deeper golden hue when held up to the light.
It's delicious gold in a glass.
Wait, I thought that was last episode.
Hoppy gold.
Hoppy gold.
No, that was a couple episodes ago.
That was one episode ago. Lower to Boom, which was literally after a gold rush.
Oh yeah, that's right. But that was the can that was gold.
Yeah, that was the beer that was definitely not gold inside of a can that was
gold in a can, and it did not have a gold color.
No, it did not look like this is what gold in a can would look like.
I see rays of sunshine, California.
And actually,
sunshine.
this is gold in a can because it's, well, in a can.
Yes.
This can, people.
This is gold in a non-golden can. It was a can. Now it's just
just going to be a not
still a can. It's just not going to work well.
That's fair. Ontologically speaking, it's still a can. And they do have a bit of gold on the front, too, on the shield.
It's true.
So good for them. I like Firestone Walker.
Good for them.
Good for you gold. Guys out there in California.
Great.
Look at you doing a good job and whatnot. So progressive.
Over 2 decades now. So,
would it be original?
One of the things that I usually look at breweries or their websites, and either how bad they are or how good they are. And Firestone has a pretty solid website.
Yeah, they do.
I like the setup of it. One of the things I like the most is they have a page just dedicated to beer freshness, where they show how all of their beer is sold, like 24-pack, 12-pack, bottle, can, whatever, and then where you can find the freshness state, so you can actually look at it and see if you're getting something fresh or if you're getting something 4 months old.
True. Yeah, it would have been great to know that they had that site before I bought this multi-pack of beer from the shit fucking guy who sold it to me.
That's right. This is actually a lot more toned down than the previous discussions.
Well, no. See, I wish actually I don't know what we did with the actual box. So this is actually we picked up a multi-pack of 4 different Firestone Walker beers, and after I purchased it, I didn't see the date until after I already got back. But according to their site, unless indicated otherwise, our beer is best if enjoyed within 120 days. So I want to know if we're in 120 days of that box.
Oh, that's true. There it is, right at the corner.
9/20/16.
I feel like we're at
on the
121 days.
Oh,
maybe.
We are at the 2 days before the mark date.
Yeah.
So okay, I can technically retract, but I don't want to because the beer. I don't think the quality of the beer went down. This is still damn good.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it's still really good.
So, but the story behind this was the fact that the discussion of freshness, and I've said before, I work for Aurora Brewworks. I did not pick this pack up at Aurora Brewworks. I was at another beer establishment, and I was looking for Firestone Walker. They didn't have a lot, and the guy had said we try and bring the freshest beer possible. And we got into it about different things and whatnot, and I saw this pack. I was like, well, there you have 4 things of Firestone Walker. That's perfect for what I need for this episode. Lo and behold, after he goes, oh yeah, and I said, so you're sure this is fresh? He goes, I wouldn't sell if it wasn't. The key word there, if it wasn't. And then I got back and I realized the date is like 4 months ago, and I was like, that motherfucker, he swindled me.
That's a swindle. That's how we
But
define a swindle.
technically, I'm 2 days behind the date of 120 days.
Yeah, I just did the calculation. It's 125 days. So
No, so 5 days old,
Yeah.
technically, now at this point.
I mean, you know the old saying though, plus or minus 5 days for beer freshness.
Yeah, that's the saying.
That's the saying.
That's the saying. Did you
That's the
just
saying.
make that up?
Yeah, right now.
It's the saying
Like
now.
a
How many
5-second
times
rule?
did you say it?
As of the 5-second rule.
It's always in fives.
Yes. People believe things if they're in fives. It's another way you can swindle them. I'm sure this price ended with a 5. Something 95.
I thought people would always go for even numbers.
No, that makes them suspicious, because nothing's ever even in this world. Yeah, we get real on this podcast.
Shit. Mind blown.
Mind blown. Fun fact about Firestone Walker. The bear fighting the lion on the front, well, on their logo, really. The two owners, that's what they represent, Firestone and Walker. And Firestone is a descendant of the guy who started up Firestone Tires.
True, which I've never made that connection. Is how did you get from tires to beer?
I mean, they had a couple generations to
I guess
to develop.
But I've always known Firestone tires. Like you see them
yeah.
everywhere, and I'm like, and there's just this brewery out there that does some phenomenal things, and I'm just like, where in your line of legacy did just somebody said, I'm going to make a brewery from this, and you pulled it off beautifully. Damn
with
lineage.
the tires, obviously they made a legacy out of that, and so they have a lot of money, and breweries cost a lot of money.
So you think it just piggybacked off of it?
May have used inheritance or something.
Yeah, if you have capital and you have drive, and you
Yeah.
apparently have a lot of skill,
Yeah, for sure.
you're going to make a fantastic brewery.
Especially using their fermentation method is from like England. That's what I believe. That's what the Union and all of their stuff comes from.
Yeah,
the Burton Union fermentation, which is done in barrels, in oak barrels.
Yeah, one of the only breweries to actually do that today and to have one of those systems. Which gives them a lot of leeway to make some pretty interesting beers as well. Or to make standard beers really well, but with an interesting twist to them.
Right, because if they brewed this exact same beer and put it into stainless steel, it wouldn't have the same character.
My bigger question is, so who do you think won, the bear or the lion? Or are they still fighting?
They might still be fighting. That's a tough question.
Well, seeing as how all of their cans and logos have them still fighting, I'm guessing they're still fighting. Till the day they print one and the bear is dead, keeled over and mauled by the...
Oh,
Then
so
we'll
you
see.
think
So
the
you're
bear's
a
gonna
lion
die?
fan.
Yeah, you think you're a lion man.
Only because, by chance, when I crushed this can, the bear is crushed and the lion is not.
Just a sign.
It's a sign.
I just
The
want to
lion
crush my
wins.
can so that the lion is crushed.
Yeah, we have 3 cans here.
Yes.
We can
Leave
find
it up
out.
to fate right now.
There it is.
Just the winner.
Crush away, boys.
Mine's still a split. They both live.
They both live.
Mine are equally uncrushed. the middle part crushed, and now they're just fighting each other across a vast expanse of aluminum. Well, great experiment, guys.
The debate continues.
At the end of it, we've learned absolutely nothing.
I think Firestone needs to put out like a versus series, like lion only series or bear only, and just whatever comes up.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
like
Like how Budweiser does like the football cans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can do their fighting series cans. Bear
Both
versus
lion and bear just giving big middle fingers to each other. You put the bottles together, and they're just flipping each other the bird.
I like that idea. Maybe they can throw in some other creatures. Other ones that would be a good match for them.
They get a third
like a
partner.
griffin.
A griffin?
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that a mixture of both?
No. It has the lion, but no bear in it. That I know of.
Yeah, but it has wings. It's a mythical creature, and you're putting it up against 2 creatures that exist in the world?
I see no reason this shouldn't happen.
I know there are other
I think it would be
animals.
the lion and the bear versus the griffin at that point.
Really? You think they team up against the mythical creature?
Well, yeah, come on. They own the same brewery. They got to be on board.
Instead of
with
a
each other.
mythical creature, maybe you just have to bring in the bird. You just bring in like this giant fighting eagle for liberty.
Oh, like one of the
Fighting
Lord of
for
the
freedom.
Rings eagles?
Exactly.
He goes mythical. Right back to the fantasy world. Oh, yeah, like Lord of the Rings. We can ride it.
I'll be honest, I can't think of one real creature right now. I keep thinking of mythical creatures.
He's not alone on this. I started thinking of other fighting animals. I'm like, who would take on a lion and a bear?
Right.
Oh, a minotaur.
A minotaur? Excellent.
A bull. Actually, a bull would work.
Yeah. Oh, well, a bull would have never occurred to me. Minotaur? Yeah. That makes sense. A basilisk.
Hydra.
Ooh, yeah. They give him a good fight.
A manticore.
So, in summation, Firestone Walker should have a Mythical Beast can series. That's like the Budweiser NFL series.
They're so similar.
You can go out and pick your team.
Loch Ness
Buy those
Monster
cans.
shows up.
Yep. Loch Ness, of course.
I'm just going to throw in a movie reference. I think Jaws should be included. Nothing aquatic yet. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because it's only light beer that tastes like water.
Oh, maybe it's their first light beer.
I don't know if I'd
Just
have.
biting the head off both the lion and the bear.
What would it be? Union Jack Light?
Didn't they do a session version of Union Jack?
Easy Jack.
Easy Jack,
Yep,
that's it.
we have that today as well. It's
Excellent.
actually the next one.
I bet there's not a shark on the container, though.
No.
All right. Well, there's room to
Damn
grow.
it, Firestone. Get
Exactly.
me a shark on the can.
You make an excellent beer. Next, let's add a shark to the can.
Only
Just
thing
a-
they can make it better.
Oh.
I want a battle can of just animals attacking each other in a big mauling.
That'd be a fun can to look at while I'm drinking a beer. Who like one of those breweries that recommend drinking the can in the beer, like Hetty Topper. If they had a mythical
Drinking the
creature,
can in the beer?
yeah,
Okay. Let's just checking.
that's not what I said. Hashtag alternative facts.
Derailed.
So drinking the beer in the can.
Gotcha.
If they had a huge mythical battle scene right on the can, I'd probably do that just so I could admire the can a little bit more. Because right now I pour that shit into a tulip glass, which I'm sure if the brewery's listening, they're like, that son of a bitch.
Not what we told you to do.
We're going to stop selling to him. But I do.
I would pour it out too. I'd put it in one of my Spiegelau glasses.
Good call.
Yeah.
Dan, would you put it into a Spiegelau glass?
I had 2 beers last night in a Spiegelau glass.
What?
know.
How many
Look at this
Spiegelau
man
glasses do you have
growing.
today?
I only have the one. Dogfish had one.
Oh, okay.
And that sits pristinely on the shelf and
Nice.
like never gets touched as much as possible. But I had a gift to me of a lovely Surly beer, and I was like, "This is going in Spiegelau."
Yeah.
So,
That's deserving. What was the other beer? Or was it two Surleys?
no, it was the other one was just a Stone I had, or not a Stone. Was it Stone? No, it was Southern Tier. I had.
Okay.
It was a Gemini I had. I was like, yeah, we'll have another.
Oh, Gemini. I haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah. I like Gemini.
Yeah, I used the Spiegelau, and it is still standing.
Excellent.
Probably gonna get home. It's gonna be
We're,
broken.
we're,
Like, I didn't even touch it this time.
this is for last night. I forgot to break last night.
Well, that's better than 1/6 of mine.
Let it go. I warned you.
That's true. You did.
You said bad things will
You were,
happen.
You
were
said
like
bad
in-
things will happen. You didn't say that you would go to put it down on the table and completely miss the table.
Okay, fair enough.
Oracles don't need to be
bad things.
specific.
I just said bad things.
Yeah.
Okay?
If this was ancient times and an oracle is like, if you go to that city, bad things will happen. Instead of like, if you go to that city, a lion will eat you. You can't be upset at the oracle for not warning you exactly.
The lion did it.
Yeah, hey, look at that. I was even talking about ancient times when I thought of a real animal instead of a mythical creature.
The dragon did it.
The Damn dragons.
Ah, they're everywhere.
Alright, speaking of mythical creatures, let's move on to our next beer.
Let the battle continue.
Next up on the battle, we have another beer under 5%, Easy Jack IPA. Their sessionable IPA. And, again, great beer. You're going to sense a theme here. when we
This is all
discuss
great.
Firestone Walker.
Firestone Walker and its greatness. Did we ever discuss of why? I just noticed this. Why does the bear have a star? I never looked that up. Just noticed that.
That's a good question.
The lion doesn't get a star.
The bear's fancy.
The bear wins.
Kind of also looks like the bear has abs. I think it's just...
Actually, it kind of does.
Oh my god.
I think it's just
The
fur
bear's
ruffles, but...
Actually, I think the lion has abs too. Damn, they're ripped.
This is going to be a pretty epic fight.
Well, I mean, come on. If you're going to put a depiction of yourself on a can and you're a lion, are you going to be a fat lion or are you going to be a buff lion?
That's true. You're going to be a buff
Just when I
lion.
see abs on a lion, I think malnutrition. I want a
Where's
full lion.
PETA when you need him?
Yeah. They're starving their lion spokesman. Although the bear looks healthy, just in shape. Has those. Well, we've talked about animal muscles for a while now. Let's talk about this beer for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Maybe. So this actually has more IBUs than the PAL 31, which makes sense because even though it's a session, it's still an IPA. So clocking around 45 to 50 IBUs. And
4.5%. Nice and low in alcohol.
yeah, low in alcohol. It pulls off something not all session IPAs pull off, which is still tasting good and like an IPA. Some kind of sacrifice that just for their low ABV, but this one you still definitely get a hop character in it.
Right. Surprisingly, this is one of the only IPAs I have ever drank during beer pong.
Nice.
And I went through a whole 12-pack of it. And
Damn.
it didn't hurt at all.
Awesome. Did you win?
Well, I didn't leave the table.
That's
Was it because you were
that's a
just
good point.
drinking, or because you were still playing?
Because I was still playing.
He's like, the first 3 cans I used for beer pong. The other 9 I just drank after.
I just sat there and watched beer pong.
I just said
He's still
sad.
drinking everybody else's cups. Like, quit doing that! You're ruining the game, Alex.
You made the cup, I gotta drink it.
That's a good point, though. There are, I mean, it's not usually encouraged, or at least not initially before session beers became more popular, to play beer pong with craft beer. Mm-hmm. But with session beers and some pale ales, it really works.
Yeah. And just to put it out there, the beer did not go into the cups, and then the ball goes into the cup, take the ball out, and then drink out of the cup. The cups are full of water, and I was drinking out of the can.
Oh. So you might have just blacked out and just said, I'm going to keep drinking these beers. I don't even remember playing beer pong.
Oh, no, I was playing beer pong the whole time.
I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. When you're
tainting the
playing
beer with your
outside,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, you're not getting the same thing. You're pouring it into a cup, and it's going to get warm. It's going to get flat. When it can just sit in a can that has a koozie on it.
I think that's
stay
why we
nice
all
and
go
cold.
with cheap beer. Why hasn't anybody made a refrigerated beer pong table?
That's a good question.
Like, wouldn't it just be simple to like have like a basin of like a tray, just a giant tray that sits on ice? It's like, put your glasses in here, and like they all stay cold.
That was a really good idea. You could probably rig up some kind of contraption for that.
Like you have there's floating beer pong tables for a pool.
Yeah, all you need is a table that has a removable area where the cups go. Yeah. That is the same material that you just toss in the freezer, and it freezes.
Well, not even
and
freezes.
Then you stick that in there, that base in there, and then you just stick your cups in there.
I think probably because for the vast history of beer pong,
everything gets broken.
Everything gets broken,
destroyed.
But also, so yes, you want to be able to play in the pool. You want like good tables, fold-up tables, whatever. But it's all about the actual game part, playing the beer pong.
It is? I thought it was about drinking.
No. Well,
it
yes,
is about
but
drinking,
it's
but
not about...
It's about pounding.
Yeah, it's not about the quality of the beer.
But that's why we use such cheap beer. If you knew your beer could stay cold, would you not just use...
But that's the point. In the vast history of beer pong, good beer has not been used. There's no need to keep your beer cold.
Biggest mistake of my life.
and to keep the integrity of the beer if you're just putting in Bud Light.
Yeah.
Like, that could be left outside and have God knows how many ping pong bottles go into
beer
it.
pong.
Yeah, craft beer pong. That's where you're more concerned about keeping the beer
chill table
in a good condition than needing to play beer pong.
But I still find that when I crack open a can of, say, Easy Jack, and we start playing beer pong, I shoot, and what do? Well, I got my can, so I take a sip. Even though if I made one, I didn't make one.
I still want to drink
Someone shoots and they miss both of theirs. It's like, well, I'm still thirsty. I'm going to drink it.
That's another good point.
And the whole thing is, it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'm finishing 1 can per game. If you think about it, it's a 6-cup. It's one can per person. As long as you finish a can, drank the same amount.
That's my main problem with drinking games is if you're doing a good job and winning, a lot of times you can't drink.
I'm sorry. Never in a drinking game did they say that if this happens, you have to drink. If nothing is happening, you can't drink. I'm sorry. It's a drinking game. Drink when you want to drink.
That's true. That's true. That's in the official bylaws. Or rather, not in the official bylaws. Does not dictate what happens when the other team misses.
Craft beer tournament on your brand on hops coming soon.
Or bar golf.
That's a future event. We will get into that later. It's not time yet.
Pay attention this spring.
Where were we?
So the one thing I did notice on
way
their
off track.
website, about this beer, Easy Jack, is that this one's not fermented in their Burton Union fermentation system. It's actually done in stainless steel. My only thought would be that they're pumping out so much of this stuff that they would do it in stainless steel because they can probably get larger batches.
I could see that. I'm sure they go through a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's one of the regular year-round beers.
Right. You know what? I absolutely love that session IPAs are no longer summer beers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when they first started appearing.
When they first started coming out, it was just a summer thing, and then they went away, and it was like, oh, next summer, great. You know, we get Founders All Day IPA again. We get the Stone Go-To. Get this one. And then it's like all of a sudden they just didn't go away after the summer, and it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Just to give people something easy drinking, something that's not...
Yeah.
I mean...
Right.
You always hear it if you go to a bar. It's like, well, yeah, we don't have it with like the seasonal stuff. It's all right. You know, you went from your Christmas ales and things like that. Now it's the wintertime. You see more heavier beers. You see stouts and whatnot. It's like, yeah, IPAs are great, but we're trying to go with the season. It's not what you maybe want right now. It's like you see IPAs and summer ales and things that are give you more of that tropical and orange flavors, citrus, and things that are maybe a little bit more refreshing. And it's like, you know what? Why are we doing this? Why don't we just put a session ale that's always out there, that's always refreshing and always delicious, and people can just drink it all the time?
I can tell you right now, my beer fridge, year-round, has Founders All Day IPA in it.
One of the classics.
I love that beer.
You don't keep Easy Jack in it?
No.
Oh, for shame.
No, because All Day comes in 15 can packs for the same price.
That's a good point.
3 extra beers, and when you're buying it consistently, it adds up to quite a few free beers.
I really like when they started releasing it in those bigger
beers.
15 packs.
I got All Dayed out.
I don't understand that.
It's a great. I like the beer. I do. It's a great one, but like we've been to many barbecues and things like that, and like people seem to grab it. Like they get that 15 pack and it shows up there, and then you have like 3 guys standing around with 45 cans of All Day, and I'm like, kind of want something else right now. I should understand. That sounds fantastic to me. I need variety.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'll always drink one, but if there's a variety of craft beers, it'll be my last one that I go to, most likely. Just because I do always have it on hand, so if I'm just craving an IPA and I don't have anything else, well, that's what I'm cracking open.
Yeah, that's a good point. It can serve a pretty good purpose wherever you go, too. I mean, if you are going to a party, you have a couple bigger beers up front, and then you finish with that as a cool-down period.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the parties that we go to, we kind of need a cool-down period, because sometimes some of the bottle shares get a little out of hand.
What? Bottle shares getting out of hand?
No.
Nonsense. All right, cool. On to the next
Did I
beer.
hear that? No, did I hear that correctly? You said bottle shares are getting out of hand?
I'm saying when bottle shares get out of hand.
They never get out of hand, sure. They just produce more challenges.
Interesting discussion on both points.
Let's grab the next beer.
Let's pour the next
Are
beer.
you referring to the Festivus party by any chance?
Well, yes, I am, Dan. Festivus, there was a lot of bottles there.
Oh, actually, sorry, Spice is what we're supposed to be talking about. No, there were a lot of bottles.
So, on the one hand, though, there were insane amounts of bottles, but exactly because it didn't get out of hand, are why there were so many bottles left over. I mean, bottle shares of the past, we would have gone through all those.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Honor would have demanded that we not leave until we go through all those.
Until they're all done.
This night, 11:30, started packing up and heading out. There were bottles left over. I mean, we took some home. There was...
Why on this night do we drink more beers than any other night?
That's what we need to do. We need to start a ritual.
We need our
happens
own
every
set of
year.
4 questions for Festivus.
Yeah, but let's not have them be depressing.
Well, it was, why do we drink so many beers? I don't think that's depressing.
No.
But before it used to be like we started out with a group of regulars that was, everyone would bring a bottle to share. And they're like, damn, we went through 12 bottles, and then the next year, 15. I was like, we got to outdo ourselves. So this year, we had I'm not going to lie, we had a great turnout of people, and the food was fantastic, and we had so many people that brought bottles, we just could not get through them all. And we also had we were lucky enough to get hold of a 6th keg of Grim, and people were drinking that, and I think that also kind of disrupted everything. But by the time we were done, there were so many bottles left over and so many cans that people brought from Heady Topper to Cigar City to aged beers that they had in their cellar. Tom brought a bolt cutter. I had a Brewery Bois.
Tom brought a bolt cutter?
Tom brought a bolt cutter.
I wasn't there when that was open.
Never got opened.
Oh,
I was going to say, I wasn't
interesting.
there.
Yeah, it never got opened. My Bois never got opened. Like, I brought my last white oak. Like, there was stuff that never got touched and saw the light of day because there was so much going on and no one was keeping track of it. So, I wouldn't say that, like, the bottle shares are getting out of hand. We have a friend in particular, that brought like 7 bottles on his own. And God bless him for sharing so much with us because, it's a great thing when someone does that. But at the same time, you've now got like 20 people that are trying to share 1 bottle plus another 7. And you don't think it's a lot until you actually get to like bottle 27 and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
At that point, like, it's not even about the alcohol you're consuming. It's can your palate even take anymore? Because normally with bottle shares, you're getting some bigger beers, some barrel-aged stuff a lot of times. And, I mean, after a few...
something special.
Yeah. After a few of those kind of beers, like, your palate is just tired.
No.
Like,
Although,
the Grim was so nice and refreshing in between because it was different than everything that was in bottles.
That's a good point. The Grim being there is definitely less reason to go and keep opening up a bottle. But also just the sheer amount of people. With bottle shares, you need a certain threshold, and once you go over that critical mass, it just doesn't really work anymore. Because part of the fun of a bottle share is everyone tastes at the same time. That's what you're drinking. You get to talk about it. You like it, you don't like it, whatever. And then you can move on to another one. You can see what somebody brought, what they bought, what they're going to open up there. Plus, that way you can kind of organize it a little bit. So somebody knows not to be the asshole and bring out the triple IPA as the second beer and ruin everyone's palates. And if they do, that person's going to get shunned and told to go away until later in the evening.
Until they finish their whole bottle, and then they can come back.
And they can come
I
back.
think the problem was partially on my end too is that I announced the bottle share. Normally it was just the regulars, so you could have a group of 20 some odd plus people, but there's 10 regulars. So that brings your bottle count down. I announced it, and everyone wants to be a part of it and thinks they have to contribute. It's like, no, you don't have to contribute. We just brought shit to Sarah because it's a celebration. We're having a holiday party with all of our friends. You people brought food. We've seen you before. We're glad to have you. And then it just went out of control. So at the end of the night, this is what I said, but we kind of might have started a new tradition out of this. Instead of possibly a bottle share, a bottle swap. Because by the end of the night, there was so much stuff left, but it's like, well, instead of walking away with your beer you brought, take someone else's you might want. So people walked away with stuff that they didn't have. They're like, well, I'm going to go drink this tonight. I'm going to go drink that tomorrow. And it's just, all right, I can live with that. I had I brought an expired bottle of Duchess. I don't know who took it. And I'm like, I aged that thing for God knows how long. And I'm like, I was kind of looking forward to it. But then I walked out with, Cigar City. I was like, Oh, well.
Especially since that bottle, not only was it expired, but you had a fresh bottle of it too.
Exactly. I was trying to do a comparison.
Yeah.
I've aged Duchess before, and it mellows out, and it becomes really, really nice.
It becomes palatable.
Well, nah. If you like,
It's
I mean,
not
it's a
vinegar
Flemish.
anymore.
It's a Flemish sour. It's very kind of balsamic-y and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it does smooth and mellow out as it ages. This one just had they put an expiration date on the cork, and this one was 11 of 2016. It was December of 2016. I wasn't expecting much to really happen after that last month. Maybe something would have. Who knows?
But it's still older than the newer bottle that you had.
Yes.
So there would definitely be a difference.
Exactly. So I was looking forward to having that taste test. I didn't get that taste test. Instead, I walked away with 2 cans of High Life.
Also a very good beer.
Yes.
That's not a bad trade-off.
But the excuse me, the beer that we're drinking now is called DBA, Double Barrel Ale, and this is the flagship. This is the one that got them started back in '96, I believe.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that. I've been drinking Firestone Walker for a while, and I think I only had the DBA a couple years ago. I didn't really assume it was a new beer. It just never occurred to me that this was their flagship that's been around for over 2 decades. But the Walker part of Firestone Walker is actually a British expat. So I think he might have brought some of that British beer-making spirit over to his West Coast counterpart with Firestone. But yeah, there we go. And then we have English-style ale brewed on oak and barrel system.
Which is an English way of fermentation. So it's a pretty good beer.
I'm going through.
Yeah, especially... What's that, Dan?
Nothing. I was just looking at, and sadly enough, this is the first time I've had the DBA. I've actually had more double DBA, which is actually now an archived beer that they use for the reserve stuff. I've actually had more of that, which is the harder stuff to get than I actually haven't had the original.
Well, that actually relates to something I wanted to bring up. Moving on to the news.
Beer news.
Beer news. And by news, I mean articles.
Alex wanted to chime in. Beer news.
So, so Dan found a... I don't know what's going on. I heard a whisper and I got scared. I thought we were being haunted. So Dan found a list of... It's actually kind of an interesting list, even though I don't agree with most of it. But the title of the article is Craft Beer Trends That Need to Stop in 2017.
It starts to become kind of bullshit after a while, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, some of this stuff is kind of legit. A lot of it, I don't know. I mean, one of the things that I like most about craft beer culture is the openness and inclusiveness of it, and the fact that you can talk about it. And sure, you can have some strong opinions, but usually you don't start putting someone down unnecessarily. And a lot of this list is stop doing things for unnecessary reasons.
Because what?
I said most of their opinions are bullshit.
And then you get Dan.
I know. I always just say like someone's like, "Oh, I love this beer," and it's like, "Oh, that's a shitty beer." I say that in my head, but I'm like, "Oh yeah, everybody's palate's different."
You're a natural born politician.
It's a nice way of saying
Alex.
your palate sucks.
So the reason that this came up was Dan just said that he had a lot of the double DBA from Firestone Walker. One of the things that they say that craft beer needs to cut out, they're, quote, multiple beers. This is talking about like doubles, triples, that kind of thing. And they
So sense.
oddly they mentioned Belgians here, which is
the
one
thing
of the
they do the best.
Yeah, one of the delicious multiple styles that actually has a historical root of monks making different strengths of beer, rather than like some new style getting a double or a triple. Which I don't know why they mentioned the Belgians, but yeah, that's one of them. So what do you guys think of this?
I think that there's a guy at Thrillist.com who wrote this article who loves craft beer. And he's like, I'm going to get some guys exactly like us, and they're going to start talking about my article with the nut and like just rage out and know that I'm just totally trolling them. And if it's true, I want to find him. And I'm going to shove this DBA up his ass.
That's an excellent point. He might just be trolling us. Alex, multiple beers, yay or nay?
Multiple beers?
The multiplier, doubles, triples.
I didn't see that part.
But if you can, so here's my question. This kind of goes into another thing, a trend that says, 2017 says they should get rid of is the more new and weird beers of seeking them out. And I'm like, well, that's kind of the whole creative process. You take one beer, maybe you have a flagship like they do, and then they tweak it to a double DBA, and maybe they age it in a barrel. Maybe they, try a different yeast. Maybe they add a different flavor. Maybe, it's a spin, and that's how you get creative. But to say if the craft beer industry is like, we don't need any more new or weird beers, yes, we do. That's how you're going to pretty much keep your brewery alive. After a while, it just becomes dull. I think that's what a lot of breweries are always trying to do. It's like
they're always trying to create the next thing.
Exactly.
But unless you branch out and try new things, you're never going to find the new thing. And I know another thing in there was the crazy and weird beers.
That was what I was talking about. It was like, no, I want crazy and weird. Sometimes, okay, we do push the envelope. We fuck with tradition a little bit too much. Yeah. We throw some bull testicles in a fermenter and we think, yeah, this will be great. All right, I get it. But on the other hand, we just, we find maybe some herbal notes that we don't think to throw in. We find, flavors that we wouldn't normally see, from maybe a different country. Maybe you find, ancient ales that Dogfish Head does. Mm-hmm. Old processes that just produce a different mouthfeel, just something else.
Their new Saison that came out, I saw it. I forgot what it's called. It's like a green label.
It's not Saison de Provence.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
Saison with lavender, mojamin, and bay leaves. And I saw that and I was like, what the fuck?
I only use bay leaves in soup. I have no idea actually what they physically taste like.
I saw it, I pick up the bottle and I was like, I'm reading it, I'm like, what the fuck? Alright, I gotta get it now. And I had it and it was beautiful. I looked up that mojamin or whatever the hell it's called. It's like it's some kind of herb, but it has a citrus and pine character to it. I'm like, oh, like hops.
Mojamin.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to know what
good pick
you're talking about.
That sounds.
But the lavender was really nice. The bay leaves, it just added this real herbal character for the.
This is the
gorgeous beer.
Dogfish you said.
Was it marjoram? Was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, if it was marjoram, I was like mojamin. What the hell is mojamin? I gotta look this up.
It was something like that.
Should actually just look up.
Dogfish Head
Yeah,
is
we do
one
have
of the.
computers in front of us. We probably could just look it up.
Who wants to use the internet when I can just do guesswork?
Honestly, it was surprisingly very good to the point where I bought a couple more bottles of it.
Impressive. Dogfish Head is the classic fucking with tradition brewery.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, honestly, if I see a beer, the same reaction you had. If I see a beer that looks weird and odd, but it has a Dogfish label on it, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, I trust them to do it.
I trust
them to do it right.
That's a good way to say it. There are other breweries I trust. If I see a craft beer that has a lot of weird stuff going on, don't really know the brewery yet, maybe I'll get something else from them, see how they do, see how they make beer.
Right.
But I won't start there. But Dogfish Head, it's hard for them to...
Yeah, marjoram.
I'll be honest.
I know it was M something with a J or something. Yeah.
I've never heard of
Mojamin. Mojamin, man.
Beer name. I want a beer called Mojamin.
I've never heard of that in my life. But I'm from now on, I'm going to say it the way Alex pronounces
with you.
it.
Good man.
We're going to start a thing here.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, you just heard me do a Bob Marley medley on your bread.
Let's move on to the end all part of the article that we're all going to agree with. Pedal tours.
Fuck pedal tours.
Something that needs to end.
Oh my god. That's the only part of that article that we actually agreed upon. It was, and...
I think we all agree on crushable.
We forgot about the word crushable. And
alright, so
I mean,
they said crushable has to go away. I think
they took the term wrong.
So, no, well, part of it is, and this is something that was brought up earlier as well, is Alex pointed out, when crushable, he thinks of macro brews, just heavy drinking, not really tasting or savoring the beer. The first thing I thought of when I thought of crushable was like New England style IPAs. Really good beer, really good craft beer that is so smooth that you can drink a lot of it without that abrasiveness. So not necessarily like a West Coast IPA.
So surly abrasive ale, kind of out of the question.
Yeah. It's not really in the running
a real
there.
throat scratcher.
Yeah, not what I would call crushable. But that's what I thought of with crushable. So almost like a craft beer specific connotation.
Right. Like even Big Ditch has their FC, which is fantastically crushable.
Yeah.
And it's like 3.8%, and it's I believe they call it a session IPA. It has some IPA characteristics to it, but it's just so drinkable, and there's so much flavor to it. It's an amazing beer.
I've crushed more than one of those at their brewery.
Oh yeah.
Because it was fantastically crushable.
And it was fantastic.
So we were talking about pedal tours, and that was the one trend we felt, it needs to go, and there's several reasons why, and mostly because... Okay, I'm just going to say, I think it's the douchiest thing you can possibly do if you're really looking to go out and just have a decent time at a bar crawl. I mean, if you're looking for craft beer, why on earth do you need 12 people to sit on a pedal tour with a 6-still keg that can serve 96 beers and pedal around when you can get drunk off of that to go into other bars and keep drinking, and then, most of the time, not end up drinking in those bars?
So that's one of the things that people don't like about them is that they bring all these people, and half the people end up getting something, and then they just hang out, they're loud, and they're drunk, and then they leave.
Yep.
And that's the thing. I know people have done it, and they're just like, it's so much work being on that damn thing, and you only get like a little break at every bar. It's like, most people I've talked to haven't had a good time on it.
Find a town, find a city, get a room, walk your ass. There you go. You know what? It's a great place to be. East Aurora. No open bottle container law. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Go to your bottle shop, buy something you like, go to drink it while you're walking, jump into that bar, maybe keep a cooler or something in your purse or something like that. Maybe a nice little flask, and just keep walking and just enjoy the sights and sounds. Enjoy your company. Something. But to get on a goddamn pedal tour.
You're pitching walking around drunk in a suburban town very well.
If it's allowed, why not?
No, that is true. But that's one of the exceptions, though, is East Aurora.
I mean, you can't do it in the city of Buffalo, but even then, just the amount of places that there are to go, and the walks in Buffalo are pretty easy. I mean, if you want to go from one place to the other, you can walk it. It's not that hard to... I mean, we've done it multiple times of just, hey, let's go hang out at this restaurant. Do we want to drive? Why the fuck would we want to do that? Let's just walk the fucking 5 blocks and go down there. It just doesn't make sense. Or we could jump on a pedal tour and, not get the enjoyment because now we're stuck in traffic because we have to slowly pedal down the street at... I can walk faster than that goddamn bike, I think.
Yeah, and it's less work. The one thing that bothers me about the one in East Aurora is that when they're not on Main Street, they don't follow stop signs. Like, they don't come to stops. They honk their horn and lay on the horn if they see people pulling up to a stop sign. And I've been at stop signs multiple times when they're going through, and I hear the horn, and I'm like, oh, well, here comes a pedal tour. And I sit there and I wait, and they just go right through. Never even, don't even slow down.
Wow.
And I'm just like, that's extremely dangerous. You are a vehicle on the road and you're blowing through stop signs. You're just laying on your horn. What if I did that in my car? I wonder how well that would work.
We should all try that tomorrow.
Let's not do that.
That sounds kind of fun.
Just rolling through.
Well, if we're gonna do that, we have to at least have a couple beers first.
There better be a damn good reason.
Of course. I mean, it's a pedal tour,
It's
right?
called a DUI. Just driving through, just rolling, stop. Yeah, this is what's going on.
To all of our listeners, do not do any of the things
we do not condone driving while intoxicated.
Exactly.
Unless you're an idiot, then go for it.
Or on a goddamn pedal tour.
Yeah.
Because then you're not liable. But I still think that whoever's driving that goddamn thing is probably having one beer off of that thing. Probably when you're stopped.
There's no way he's not having a beer along the way. You're not gonna. No.
Do you think
there's
have
no.
cops ever stopped
It's like,
those
no,
things?
that would just be stupid.
No, what's he gonna do? Listen to people drinking in the back,
Yeah,
and
right.
steering that thing inanely for an hour. And not
Some
drink?
bachelorette
How much is
party,
that
and he's
person
like,
really getting paid?
Not enough
Come
to not
on.
drink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The amount of parties he's got, the bachelorette party, the bachelor party is like, oh, why am I doing this with my life? There's just one beer pulled out, and then just nobody sees it. He's just down at his feet.
I would not judge him. He can use our trick. Pull out a 6 point. People will be like, oh, he's grabbing an energy drink.
We don't want the police to get it wise.
I don't know.
It's
how
a
many
Red Bull
cops listen to this.
officer, a very very strong Red Bull. But
This
like
new energy drink company.
I've had it happen to me at like Aurora Brooks, and the sad part is I don't get it because I'll watch it and I'm like, oh, we think we're gonna get these customers that really wanted to, like, you're gonna get at least a drink or two and like jump back on. They pull up, they get off, they go to the place next to us for something else or for something to eat or for even I don't even think they stay there quickly. Like they do a shot and they run out. But this one, I remember specifically one time we had this group of people and they came in and we're like, oh, we got a good group of people here. And it was just one girl. It was just one girl who just bought, like, oh, I can't really drink beer. And I'm like, yet you're on the pedal tour with beer that goes to the majority of places with beer. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. You can't drink beer. She's like, do you have any ciders? I'm like, we do have ciders. And she bought a 4-pack of ciders. But then everybody on that goddamn tour left. And I'm like, why? Why? What is the point? There's nothing. There's just...
That does seem very strange. The only thing I can assume is that it's not really a craft beer pedal tour. It's just a beer thing.
You think most people are just drinking their Labatt Blue on there and just saying, fuck it?
If not Labatt Blue, something similar. Some blend
I think
beer.
it's just a general drinking pedal tour.
Yeah, I don't...
Because I guarantee there's a lot of people that have flasks
Yeah.
because they know they can. And
Maybe we need to... Okay, I'm going to say this. Maybe we need to not say fuck pedal tours.
maybe we should record on a pedal tour.
I was going to say, maybe we do a pedal tour right.
Pedal tour episode.
We get the right people,
We do a
the
bottle.
right the right sixtel. We can do a bottle share.
Six of the Grim.
I don't know if we can do that one again. But we just, like, we make, like, hey, we're going to be in here for a little while. You might want to go get a sandwich. We tell the guy. You might want to charge that fucking thing up. Like, this is going to be a bet. Like, we're going to make this legitimate. And it's like, well, he's got to get going. It's like, well, fuck him. Because if he leaves us, then I'm just going to, like, egg his house.
So, you had that response locked and loaded, didn't you?
Not really. I couldn't think of a threat. I'm just winging it. If I wanted to, I can probably think of some worse things.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I like it though. We could do a legit craft beer pedal tour. Hook up a couple mics, do an episode on it.
With
that'd be
beer
pretty fun.
golf. It's the golf cart to drive us around.
Yeah, I don't know about that, though. Because we pay for that thing to drive us around. And bar golf is more based on being at the bar.
The man will get a good tip if he just sticks around.
Yeah, I don't think they'll stick around, though.
I'm starting to waver back towards pedal tours suck.
So let's just do bar golf.
In summation, we have learned pedal tours suck.
I admit defeat.
Speaking of which, let's open up our last beer.
It's time for the
I'm
last
not
one.
admitting defeat.
The final beer we have here is Luponic Distortion from Firestone. Of course, it's from Firestone. We've been talking about Firestone the whole night. This is our fourth whole beer. As Dan mentioned, we have a whole 12-pack to get through. Normally, we share a bomber or like 12 ounces, depending on the beer. So we're really going after it tonight.
Yeah,
This time
tonight's a
we
good
went
night.
4 cans each.
Yeah, I'm impressed by us. So
And hey, there's a spider. What's up, little spider?
focus, Alex.
On the spider.
We can make the spider our mascot later. Right
No,
now.
the
Look at my
spider
bitch
is what-
right now.
We don't have an arachnid to face off against the lion and the bear.
That's right. None of us came up with spider during the fights.
Oh, spider down. Spider lives.
We'll get that
Oh, no,
giant
spider
spider.
down.
We'll get that giant spider from Lord of the Rings. That'll be able to face off.
Is there
against the
something
lion
Lord of
and
the
bear.
Rings doesn't have that's not gigantic?
Hobbits. Hobbits are very small.
Good one. Very
There's
good.
got to be.
Very good.
Well, yeah, I guess if you just had a gigantic hobbit, it would just be a giant.
It'd just be a person.
Oh, hey, you
It's a
look like a
gigantic
normal
hobbit.
person.
No, that's
like
just a
a-
man.
You look like a very hairy person.
It'd be like an episode of the Munsters. They'd all make fun of him, and then he goes out into the world and like he's the normal one.
Oh, poor hobbit lady. She's like, I gave birth to a normal.
That was a rough birth.
Oh,
All right.
it was distorted.
On our beer program,
Wow, so far off the rails.
we have Luponic Distortion, and this is Luponic Distortion number 3. They're on their 4th batch right now. This is 3 out of 4, and it's pretty solid. Kind of a juicier IPA.
I know, it's still solid for being so old. Thank you very much. Seller that will not be named.
It is true.
You know who you are.
Number 3 is out of production right now. It was released from September through November. So if you go to the store right now to get Luponic Distortion or the 12-pack of 4 different beers
Check
that we
for
got,
freshness.
You'll probably get a
Check,
fresher
check.
one than we did.
And it'll be completely different. Unless the guy says, I only rely on freshness. In which you can reply, really? And then just throw everything at him.
that's the throwing part is important. Otherwise, you're just having a conversation, and that's no fun. Gotta throw shit.
See, when we
Make an
turn the
uproar.
mics off, you don't see what we throw at each other.
No, but
This is not just conversation.
These cans are going to start flying, folks. You have no idea.
it is a mess down here. In fact, check out
Tables get flipped. Mics get broken. Are you kidding me? We're on like our 6 mics. It's ridiculous. A lot of waste of money.
check out the photo for this podcast track if you haven't yet. If you're on SoundCloud or wherever you are, those crush cans. That's what happens when we turn off the mics. We just rage.
A lot of Hulk rage, yes. Once again, way up top. Luponic Distortion getting a little to us.
Is it sad that when you said Hulk rage, the first thing I thought of was let's do a craft beer can series of Marvel characters,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
right?
Like, with all the movies, I'm surprised they haven't just said,
Yeah.
you know, the Captain
Throw up-
America.
well,
ale
Disney doesn't
and
own their own
Iron Man
brewery.
Yet.
Yeah,
That's a good point. If
Don't
they,
they-
ever
they do have
if they ever
Epcot.
buy their brewery.
they have Epcot, but do they own their own brewery? They don't brew their own beer there.
I would think they would have.
No, one of Epcot's big things is like beers from around the world.
Yeah.
Right.
So they import they
Disney
bring in their beer.
A lot of people
beer.
import beer.
Yeah.
For a big company like Disney, it shouldn't be an
They
issue.
throw a princess in every bottle.
Yes. So
That means every cap is going to have a set of Mickey Mouse ears. Ugh.
it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, but Mickey Mouse would probably be the
You
light
know
beer.
Mickey Mouse is a drunk.
No, I mean it makes sense though. Like Disney owns a lot of different franchises, not just Marvel and Star Wars
Star
and
Wars.
other comic nerd stuff like that. But like they own ESPN.
Right.
That's big into
Damn.
sports. It seems like it makes sense for Disney to buy a subsidiary that makes beer. And if they do, I want them to make a Marvel characters can series with those craft beers.
I agree.
That'd be a lot of
Hulk
fun.
Crushable IPA.
Oh, beautiful.
They even have a name. I'm
But how
I'm
would you
excited
make it
about this
green?
now.
Hawkeye's. Let's see. Hawkeye's Dead on Double.
Okay.
Come up with something for Black Widow. Oh, Black IPA would be Black Widow's.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, but she's so hot.
Red?
that You'd have to put
She does
peppers
have red
in
hair.
it.
You could go for a red ale. What would Iron Man's be? Well, his would just be pure alcohol because he's in actual drunk.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
whiskey.
really matter on the
Whiskey.
style. It's just
It's gotta
high
have
ABV.
whiskey in it.
Yeah, it's
Captain
got to be
America's
whiskey.
All-American
something.
lager.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Wait, does that even work? Captain America's All-American Lager, considering it's mostly German?
It is mostly German, but it's
But
been
did you know
American for a while.
he's a supporter
German
of Hydra
in-
now. That's the last part I
influence.
left off. That's where I'm going with.
That's-
He's a Nazi.
That was months ago, Dan.
It's been months since I've been in a comic book store.
Yeah, I know, it's sad.
Who's left on the Avengers?
Who's left? Well, Thor. I feel bad. People always forget about Thor, but that's pretty obvious. He gets his own mead.
Yeah.
Of course, that should probably come out in a bottle. I don't know if
It
Bottle
should come
release
out-
only.
I've never seen
Bottle
that.
release only, and you can't technically have a meadery in
And
the
it's
same
so
location
heavy.
as a brewery.
He gets a wee
Really?
heavy beer
Yeah.
that you can't pick up.
I did not know that. All right, that one's. We're gonna go with that one.
We're gonna stop this conversation right there because nothing can top that.
Disney, if you do this,
I want credit.
we're out there. We're gonna know that you used our idea, and I'm gonna be happy.
I just want my name somewhere.
And sue.
And then I'll be happy.
No, I won't even sue. I just want my name somewhere. You can keep the money. I'm just like, that's me.
All four of these beers are
Delicious.
very solid beers. Like, there's not one of these that if I pulled a random can out of my beer fridge and looked at it, I wouldn't be like, nah.
Yeah, I agree. Even of these styles, as you both know, the English styles are probably one of my least favorite.
Same here.
But that DBA was done so well.
Wait, you don't like English style barley wines?
You.
I like some English
Just
style
not
barley
one.
wines.
God, I can't wait till we do that episode.
There's more than a few I don't like, but there's one that really gets my goat.
Which one, Chris?
I don't.
I don't dare speak its name.
The beer which must not be named.
Don't worry, folks. It'll show up.
That would be a pretty funny episode, actually. Just for my reactions.
It's
Yeah.
J.W. Lee's. I don't know why he doesn't like it. It's ridiculous.
It's truth. Don't worry, we'll make him drink it on the show.
That's when the bottles really start flying.
Yeah, we'll have to pad the walls for that.
No, this, despite being 25 goddamn days old, all really good. I was,
I mean, I wonder what this number 3 tasted like 124 days ago.
yeah, because on the can it even says should, best before 90 days. It doesn't even give you the 120 mark, which means we have to add on a couple more days for that last one at its peak freshness, which was not at.
That is a good point, though. I didn't really I obviously didn't keep track of Firestone's release schedule for the Luponic Distortions. I knew it was rotating, so they were different. But now that I know that they posted on their website, the next time they're going to move... So right now, number 4 is out through February. Mm-hmm. So next time they're going to move on to number 5. I want to get a fresh one, like first day of March or end of February, or whenever they release that one. I want to go grab one just to taste a fresh...
Right.
We get it in regularly, so when it comes in, Aurora Brewers will have it.
I kind of want to get a 4 from there first before the end of February.
That's a good point.
We did just get Luponic Distortion in, so it should be the 4.
Aurora Brewix has a good selection of Firestone Walker, too.
We do.
Yeah.
There's usually a good variety.
Of everything. Fresh.
You don't get Sticky Monkey, though.
I have 3 bottles, Alex. I don't know about you.
We should drink one on the show.
Maybe I don't want to share.
I can't believe you have 3 bottles of Sticky Monkey.
I wish I had 2 of each because they're all different years.
Really?
I have a 14, a 15, and a 16. If I drink one, I know it's gone forever.
You could, with your beer stash, you could do so many verticals.
Oh my god. I have so much in that I have to start actually drinking the stuff I have. It's getting bad.
Well, I finally have enough barley wines that I've brewed that I can finally do a vertical of my own barley wines.
Oh, nice.
Because I have a 2013, 14, 15, and 16.
That's a pretty solid vertical. Have you had one of the 13s recently? Or, well, I should say, have you had any of them over like a year and a half or 2 years?
The last 13 that I had was probably last spring.
And that about brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you so much for listening. It's been great recording, talking about Firestone Walker. Fantastic brewery, really. Just go out and grab their beer. The Peanut Gallery agrees. It's fantastic. So go ahead and visit us on any of our social media. We're on Facebook, Your Brain on Hops. We're on Instagram and Twitter as well. Both of those at Brain on Hops.
Yeah, go give us a like on SoundCloud. Go click the little tiny heart next to us. Give us a little like there.
You can even find us on iTunes. You can rate us on there. Give us a 5-star rating. Write a little review. Tell us what you think, because that's the only way we get better, and it brings us up in the ratings as well, so more people can find us.
We need love.
Lots of liquid love. Send us beer.
And with that, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.